Good morning, class. Let us start our day with a prayer. Mr. Melvin Corpus, kindly lead the prayer. Again, good morning, class. I will be your teacher for today and you can call me Teacher Hale. Before we start our discussion about the types of traditional literature, let's have a warm-up. But before that, let's do breathing exercise. We will do 7 to 8 breathing exercise. Breathe in the count of 1 to 7. Hold your breath for 2 seconds. Slowly exhale in the count of 1 to 8 and do this 3 times. You got it? Okay. Now, I want you to sit properly and close your eyes. And breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold your breath. 1, 2. Slowly exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, breathe in, hold your breath, slowly exhale. Last one, breathe in, hold your breath, slowly exhale. Now, let's move on to our motivational game. Tell me what types of traditional literature is in the picture. First one is Cupid. Is it a myth, fables, or an epic? Yes, the answer is myth. Second, The Hare and the Tortoise. Is it an epic, fables, or a tall tales? Great! It's fables. Next, The Song of Roland. Is it an epic, legends, or a myth? Great job! The answer is epics. Last one, Robin Hood. Is it an epics, legends, or tall tales? Good job, class! It's a legend. Now, let's move on to our discussion. Are you ready to start our discussion, my dear students? Sure you are. Today, we will tackle about the types of traditional literature that includes myths, epics, legends, tall tales, and fables. Let us start with myths. Miss Valerie Valmonte, kindly read. Thank you. The word myth is derived from the Greek word mythos, which means story. Myth is a traditional story that sometimes has unknown or without authors. It teaches us a lesson and explains something about the world, like the mysterious natural forces. Also, a myth is a story that includes gods and goddesses as the character. Take note that myths doesn't only focus on phenomena of nature, but focuses on day-to-day life too. These are the examples of myths. The first one is Greek mythology Poseidon. He is the god of the sea. He became a ruler of the sea when the universe was divided after the fall of Titans. Poseidon was bad-tempered, and when he became angry, he would cause earthquakes. So we can say that Poseidon was angry last time. Next one is Roman mythology Cupid. He is god of love and desire. He known as a winged child carrying a bow and arrows. His arrows could either put people together or pull them apart. Last one is Irish mythology Banshee. She is a fairy spirit. She announced the death of the people so they could prepare. Some believe that she escorted the people safely to the afterlife. Next one is epics. Miss Gwendolyn Tuvera, Please read. Thank you. Epic is a long poem that based on oral tradition. When we say oral tradition, it is a form of communication that is passed from generation to generation through verse, song, storytelling, and many more. Epic's plot is usually to battle against bad or evil. And in this story, it includes the heroic acts of the character. Here are the examples of epics. The first one is the Iliad. Second is Beowulf with extraordinary strength. Next one is the Song of Roland. It's a story about the battle between King Marcellon, the ruler of Saragossa, and Emperor Charlemagne, ruler of the France, and of course, Roland. Let's move on to legends. Miss Rika Corpus, please read. Thank you. A legend is a story that has connection to a real person or events, but some part of the story is fiction because of its exaggerated parts. And also, a legend gives us an idea and background about the history of something, like where things or something came from. These are the perfect examples of a legend. King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, and Robin Hood. Before we proceed to the last two types of traditional literature, let's see if you all still follow, okay? Great. Miss Hannah Faustino, based on what you have understand, what is myth? Thank you, Miss Faustino. Now, Miss Ira Puyawan, what is epics? Thank you, Miss Puyawan. Next, Miss Lionel Rayo. What is legends? Great. Thank you, Miss Rayo. Let's proceed to tall tales. Mr. Ikban, please read. Thank you. A tall tale is a long and complicated story. Why it's complicated? Because just like in legends, it has an exaggerated parts of the story. You would not know what part is true or not. Usually the character or the protagonist has special abilities, and the attention in this type of traditional literature is focused on characters' physical traits and actions. And as it was stated here, tall tales are usually without moral lessons. Here are the two examples of tall tales. First one is Paul Bunyan. Second is Johnny Appleseed. Maybe you have heard about Paul Bunyan. Paul Bunyan is a boy who was really big. He cut trees and cleaned the forest with his big axe. In short, he is a lumberjack. Paul Bunyan helped for the good of the community. Second is Johnny Appleseed. This story tells about an American hero named John Chapman, but he is known as Johnny Appleseed. As he is traveling the whole America, he is planting apple with his bare foot and a pan in his head. He known as a hero because he helps people through planting apple trees for them to have food to eat. It's a tall tale that tells about a larger-than-life character whose specific job was to plant apple trees. Last one is fables. Mr. Lovely Mendoza, can you read? Thank you. A fable is a short story that uses animals as the main character instead of a human. Fable teach us the important lessons or what we call the moral lessons of this story. Here are the examples of fables. I know many of you know the story of this, but to those who didn't know, the summary of the tortoise and the hare is that the hare is very confident of winning because he knows that he is fast while the tortoise moves very slowly. That's why the hare stops during the race and falls asleep, while the tortoise continues to move and never stop, even he is slow and he wins the race. Now, what is the moral lesson of the tortoise and the hare? Perfect. Now let's move to the ant and the grasshopper. The summary of this is, in a summer day, ant work hard all day to get food, while the grasshopper is just playing and singing around. And when the winter comes, ant and his family has food and shelter, while the grasshopper does not. What is the moral lesson of the ant and the grasshopper? Great! When we read or hear traditional literature stories, we can say that we can connect it in our everyday lives. The lessons and experiences that characters encounter in this story, we can connect in our life and also apply the lessons in ourselves. Okay, as we are already done discussing the types of traditional literature, I will ask some students to answer this. What is your favorite story of traditional literature? Great! Now let's have a review. Get a piece of paper and pen and answer the following questions. I will give you a few seconds to answer this. Are you all ready, class? Great! Now, start answering. Are you all done, my dear students? Good job, class! Thank you. Have a good day, class.